didn't see there was a card in here. Oh, shoot. Aww. My favorite people, and I'm so glad to have connected with you. Jenna? Oh my gosh. Oh, now I'm going to cry. Hey guys, it's Sarah. Today I have a book haul. I do have 14 books to talk about, which is smaller than normal, which is good. Of these 14, I purchased one. Just one. All the rest were gifts. And one I got at a Free Little Library. So you could probably say like 2 are the ones that I chose to bring into my house. All the other ones were sent to me as either a gift or from a publisher. And yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start with books that I got from publishers. This one I got from William Morrow. And when I opened it, you guys, I died. Look at that Boston. I can't even with him. Okay, as you guys, many of you may know, some of you may not, some of you are a little bit newer. We had a Boston Terrier and he passed away in 2017, and he was 14 years old, and we had him since he was 10 weeks. So he was our first baby. We got him right after we got married, and he was with us for 14 years, and he was wonderful, and he was awesome, and we love him so much, and we miss him every day still. But when I opened this and I saw the Boston, I was like, oh my gosh, and it just reminded me of Brody. So anyway, so I about died when I saw this. This is the St. Francis Society for Wayward Pets by Annie England Noblin. And this one follows a woman who has a really, really bad day. Just a lot of things start really going wrong for her on this one particular day. And then she ends up finding out that her birth mother passes away and leaves her everything. So she is now has to go to her birth mother's house and her neighborhood and kind of figure out what she's going to do with everything. She inherited this house and all these things, and she doesn't know what to do. And when she gets there, she realizes that she's really falling in love with the area and falling in love with the neighbors, and there's animals, a lot of things happening. A lot of it is centered around the animals, and she really finds a connection with that. But she's also figuring out that her mother had some secrets, and she's trying to figure out what those secrets are and kind of unravel some things and try to find herself in the process. So sounds super cute. This did come in January, so it is available right now if you guys are interested in it, but so adorable. This next one was sent to me from Avon Books, and that is The Worst Best Man. And this is by Mia Sosa. And this follows a wedding planner who is left at the altar, and she ends up, just kind of trying to move on with her life. And in some of her work opportunities, she ends up with this amazing opportunity that is really going to kind of change her career. But she has to work very closely with the best man, who is supposed to be the best man in her wedding, and who she has a lot of animosity towards because he wasn't very supportive of everything. And I think maybe facilitated in the reason that why she was left at the altar. So probably going to be awesome, probably going to be hilarious. And yeah, so it's adorable. This comes out February 4th. This next one was also sent to me by William Morrow, and this one also comes out on February 4th. It is the paperback release of this book, and that is Resistance Women. This is by Jennifer Chiaverini. And this one, I think I had seen when it came out last year, and it always kind of just the cover alone just piqued my interest. I was like, ooh, interesting. And then I never ended up picking it up or anything or getting a copy, but they sent me a paperback copy. So I was very, very happy about that. So if this was on your radar before, the paperback is coming out February 4th. And this follows 2 women who really try to rise up against Adolf Hitler and the German regime in the middle of World War II. That's all I really know about it. I kind of like to go into these things a little bit, not really fully knowing what it's about. So that way it can kind of surprise me a little bit. But this will definitely be on my radar. I absolutely, absolutely love this cover. It's beautiful. This next one was sent to me by Putnam, and it does come out in April. And that is The Love Story of Missy Carmichael by Beth Morrey. Now, this one has been said, if you like Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine or A Man Called Uva, like you would probably like this one. It does follow Missy, who is an older woman. I believe she's in her 80s, and she's really in kind of a depressing part of her life. She's kind of lost her entire family, and her husband has passed away. Her daughter they had a huge fight and they're not talking anymore. Her son moved away with his wife and their only grandchild. And so she's kind of lonely and reflecting on her life a little bit. She's a retired librarian, and she ends up meeting somebody by chance and ends up, I think, borrowing their dog, or she ends up dog sitting or something like that. And the dog brings her a lot of comfort. So there's a big aspect of that, but I think it's a whole lot of like self-reflection and things like that. So it sounds adorable. The cover is adorable. I'm super excited to read it. And this will be one that I will be reviewing for April. And a book that comes out February 18th, it's actually one that I'm currently reading, and that is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. And I am really enjoying this book. I'm probably 20% through it right now, so like still kind of in the beginning stages, but oh my gosh, this book has scared me already. This follows a motel called the Sundown Motel. It's in upstate New York, and you're following two different timelines. So there is a timeline where I think it's in the 80s. Yeah, it's in the 80s, where a woman who works at this hotel, she's the night clerk, and she goes missing one night and is never heard from or seen again. So kind of presumed dead, right? Presumed that someone took her and killed her, but never found. Fast forward to today, and there is a young woman who is trying to figure out what happened to her because she is her niece. And something happened in this girl's life where she's really wanting to find some answers. And so she is going to this town and to this motel to try to figure out what happened to her aunt and see if she can find some answers. And she's kind of a true crime buff type thing as well. So she's trying to do a little bit of investigative stuff happening. And I'm not kidding you guys, this book has scared me already. Like, I had to put it down because I was reading it at night and I said, I can't do it. I can't do this at night. It can't happen. So I have to read this during the day. But it's no joke. It's scary. And let's just say there's rumors of this hotel being haunted. And that's all I'm going to say. So those are all the books that were sent to me from publishers this month. So thank you to all of them. Let's talk about some gifts that I got. I was very blessed over the past couple of months. Some of these came in January, some of them came in December. So it's a little bit from last year as well. But I ended up getting a package that I was not expecting at all. And there were 3 books in it. And I was like, what is going on? Who is doing this? And it was Monica. And Monica is the designer and the creator of the Bookworm Life Planner that I'm using this year. And I had done a video on that planner, and it's gotten ridiculous amount of views. Like, I was really shocked at how many views that video's gotten. Easily the most viewed video on my channel. And from that, because I think there were just so many of those views, she was getting a lot of orders for that planner. And a lot of people were saying that they saw it on my channel and then they went and ordered it themselves. So she sent me a little thank you box because she had gotten a lot of orders from my video. And I was like, okay, you didn't have to do that. It was my pleasure to do the video because I genuinely love the planner. I am loving working in it, and like, I'm hooked. So sharing it was just like a natural thing for me to do. Like, it wasn't even like a thing. I just wanted to show you guys what I'm using because a lot of you guys are interested in that. And because of that, a lot of you guys ended up ordering, and so it helped her. And I'm so like, that was all the things I needed, was that it helped her out. But she sent me $3 to thank me for that. I was like, what are you doing? She's so sweet. Okay, so the first one is a book called 11, and this is by Tom Rogers. This is a middle grade book, actually, and it follows a young boy named Alex, and he ends up rescuing a stray dog right around his 11th birthday. And this also happens right around 9/11 and kind of how that impacts everything. And I've been wanting to read more books that have the events of 9/11 featured in them, and kind of a little bit, that's part of the plot and part of the characters' development and things that they're going through and how it affects them. So I had added this onto my wish list, and then she went ahead and got it for me. So super awesome. Thank you. I do plan to read this for middle grade March this year. She also sent me a book that a lot of people have been recommending to me lately, and that is The Book Woman of Troublesome Creek, and this is by Kim Michelle Richardson. And this follows actual events. It is a historical fiction, but it follows actual events of, I believe, a woman who is trying to preserve a library system in Kentucky, from what I'm understanding. And there's something about people with blue skin. I don't remember all the details about what actually happens in here, but I know it's like a woman who is trying to preserve the library system when it's kind of, I think society is a little bit crumbling around them in this time frame. So I've heard it's amazing. I've heard the audiobook is amazing as well. But I'm hoping to maybe get to this for Historathon. We'll have to see. I have a couple others that are a little bit higher priority, but at some point I do want to pick this up. I'm really excited to read it. And she also sent me The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. And this is one that I've actually read the first chapter in this, because this was on the Bookish First website when it first came out, and I wanted to get an early copy of it because I read the first chapter and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't end up winning that one. So, oh well. But I immediately put it on my wish list because I knew I wanted to read this one. So this is very interesting. This follows a man who wakes up at a dinner party or some sort of like mansion. He wakes up in a mansion. I think it's like the aftermath of a dinner party or something, and finds out after he wakes up, he has no clue where he is, what he's doing, who he is. He doesn't really understand anything. Finds out that a woman named Evelyn Hardcastle passed away or was killed at this dinner party. And he's trying to piece together who killed her and figure out who he is. Now, this is one of those tropes where every day he wakes up and it's the same day and he's reliving it. And I think he's reliving the party. That has to be it, right? Because he's trying to figure out who did it. I think that's what it has to be. But the twist is every time he wakes up, he's in a different person's body. Someone from the dinner party. So he's trying to figure out based on what happened, their movements, their character, like who did this. So I'm excited to read it. I've never read anything like this before, so I think it's going to be really interesting. So, Monica, thank you. We've already talked. I've already yelled at you. Thank you. Okay, so this next one is from Jenna, who I have connected with on Instagram, and we have had quite a few conversations about books and stuff lately. And I'm calling her my NetGalley guru because she's been letting me know when books are coming up on NetGalley or show up on NetGalley that she knows I want to read. And we've connected and we've talked a little bit back and forth. She's the sweetest thing. She asked me if I wanted to have her copy of this arc that she read, and I said absolutely, because she knows I love this author, and that is The Dilemma by B.A. Paris. And she sent the cutest little bookmark. How adorable is that bookmark? It's so cute. My favorite people are fictional. So cute. And then this little tassel. Adorable. And I absolutely jumped on the chance to get an early copy of this one. And this one does not come out until June. So I will include it in my June reviews. But I'm really excited to read this one. I really like B.A. Paris a lot. I've loved all of her books, and this is just another one that I'm really excited about. And I talked about this one, I believe, in my most anticipated books of the year. So definitely going to read it. But it was very generous of her to offer me this book. So she did read it and then she passed it on to me. So thank you, Jenna. Before she sent me that, she also said, hey, I have this one too. You want it? And I was like, yes, I do. And that's Watching You by Lisa Jewell. So excited to read this one. I've heard really good things about this Lisa Jewell. Now, Lisa Jewell, I did read a book by her last year and really enjoyed it. It was my first one by her. I've heard mixed things about her books though. Like some of them are really highly praised and some of them are not. So I know a lot of people who read her books, but they don't love all of them. It's one of those things where it depends on the book type thing. So, but I've heard good things about this one, so I'm excited to read it. So Jenna, again, thank you very much. I will leave a link to Jenna's Instagram down below. It's fantastic. If you guys don't follow her already, please do. And yeah, so super excited for this one. And I sent her a book in return as well. And this next one came from Krista from Books and Jams. I'm sure you guys all know her. And that is the 25 Songs of Christmas by B.J. Richardson. This is her brother. So he wrote and published a book, and this is definitely a Christmas type book. So I will save this for Christmas time, but it talks about the different Christmas songs and how they have impacted his life and things that it reminds him of growing up. There's 25 of them. So each chapter is a different little thing about, the songs themselves, and it has the lyrics and, what happened in his life that reminds him of that and what the meaning is behind, certain things. And there's a lot of scripture things in here as well. So I was super excited to get this. I actually had it in my cart when she talked about it, because she had talked about it, I think, in her December book haul, maybe, or November or something like that. And I immediately put it in my cart, and then she ended up sending me a copy. So thank you, Krista. I really appreciate it. And then another one that I got for Christmas, and this is from another Jenna, different Jenna than the other Jenna that I just talked about. But that is The Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. I am super excited to read this. And this actually kind of sparked maybe a reading vlog idea for me. So maybe that will be coming up here soon, hopefully. But this follows a female firefighter, and she is forced, or feels compelled, not really forced, feels compelled to go back to her childhood home and help her mother out, because her mother's having some difficulties. And she ends up joining a firehouse there in Boston, where they're not so welcoming of female firefighters. So I think it's going to follow that kind of stuff. So super excited to read this. I've heard very, very good things. Krista really liked this one. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one for sure. So thank you, Jenna. Okay, these last two here. This first one is one that I got in a Free Little Library. I did my huge on haul, which I showed you guys, and I took all of those books to Free Little Libraries. I literally just drove around and I filled up as much as I could in each one, and I only took one book from any of those Free Little Libraries, and that is The Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is the actual first book in the Witcher series. This is not the novellas that you're supposed to read first. I still need to get my hands on that one. I haven't done that yet. But this is the first actual novel, not novellas type thing. I watched The Witcher with my husband, and I have watched him play the video game as well. That's one of his favorite video games of all time. And I watched the Netflix show with him, and it was so good. And I want to read the books now because of that. I do want to get the novellas first and read those before I dive into this one, but I found this one for free, so I was going to go ahead and grab it, right? So yeah, super excited. And the last book is the only one that I bought, and I only got it because I know I'm going to read it this year. It's part of a series. It's actually the conclusion to a trilogy that I do plan to read, finish this year, and it was half off, plus an extra 10% at Books A Million. So I took advantage of that. I got this for $8, and that is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. So this is book number 3 in her Renegades trilogy. I did read Renegades last year and loved it. I do have book number 2 ready to read, and now this is book number 3. So I do plan to finish that series this year as part of my 20 series in 2020, which I haven't started yet. We don't need to talk about that. Everything's fine. So this will definitely be part of it. And I wanted to go ahead and get it, while it was more than half off for me to purchase. So this is the only one though. I'm good. Okay, guys, that is it for my January book haul. So not too bad. I can actually hold these up for a thumbnail. Normally I can't even hold all the books I haul up in a thumbnail because there's too many of them. So I think I did pretty good. I'm very excited about all the books that were sent to me from publishers. So thank you to them. And the gifts that I got, you guys, were so generous. And I'm so, so grateful to all of you for that. So thank you, thank you. And I'm excited to read every single one of these books. So let me know down below if you guys have heard any of these. Let me know what I should pick up sooner rather than later. Let me know what I should make a priority, all that good stuff. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.